this is what I've come up with. I didn't want to lift it with pressure, but I did it with the ratchet. And then I can just slowly ease it out and lift it up. And then I'll start hosing. I did this as a brace as it fell. Hopefully this doesn't come off. Actually, I may put the pin in there now that I think about it. Keep that so that doesn't slide off. Then we'll keep going. Alright, so I did use the bucket after a while. I got too much strap in it. But you see it's pulling it out. Right at the end, I'm gonna ratchet this back a little bit or pull it down where I can get this where it'll stay up, and then we'll start removing hoses. Alright, it wasn't a whole lot of drama. There's the hoses. For as much of a pain in the neck as it seems like to get everything off, the pile sure doesn't look like very much. But a couple long hoses, and I got everything off I want. So I got 4 off the rear. You can see the manifold. Got everything marked. Covered over my ends in case it rains. Those 2 hoses had already been replaced. So I got the 4 in here that I want to have done, and then they'll all be new. And I took off the old 3/4 line there. Everything else seemed to be 5/8. That one was 3/4, and it was just an extra I had laying around because the original didn't look very good. So I got that one out. Comes over to there, so I'm going to get that one replaced, and then every hose, well, I shouldn't say every hose, but every hose that appeared to need replacing has been replaced. These 2 are new. The only original hoses that will be left on this entire machine are these 2 out here for the dipper. Actually, I take it back, for the curl. And those, if they should happen to go on me, are relatively standard and easy to get and put on, provided those fittings come off. Hopefully I don't ever need it. So from a hydraulic standpoint, I get those put in, get my cylinder run back in. I was glad I put that pin in there to make sure that the strap didn't slide. I wanted to make sure this didn't fall, so I strapped it to the back here. That seemed to work out just fine. So what else? Hydraulically, once I get those lines on, done all the lines for practical purposes that I'd be concerned about are now replaced. Spool valves don't seem to be leaking since I put the dust O-rings in, which is great news because this thing was definitely wet back here. Next hydraulic, when I get the lines in, going to be repacking, and this isn't really horrible, but I'm going to repack this cylinder. I already have it, so we'll just disconnect here, pull the cylinder out. It's not like we haven't done several on that one. So I'll repack that cylinder, and as far as leaks are concerned, that should be the last of the leaks. And then I think I've got this hydraulically in as about as good a shape as I'm going to get it. Not a whole lot else I can do with it that way. So at that point, it'll be what it'll be. Should be ready to go. What else do I want to do from a planning standpoint? I've already readjusted the brakes, steering clutches and brakes a little bit more, and now it's steering really well again. Engine's new. I got the hood situation taken care of. I think since the last time I showed this is a little walk around here. I got a little bit of bling. Got a new exhaust stack. I wanted a ring cap. The original was pretty beat up, and well, I couldn't find mild steel. All I could find was stainless in the correct size. It wasn't a stupid price, so it's gonna be shiny. If I get a chance before I want to go up and start using this, I'm about a month and a half away from really wanting to put this to some use, and if I get a chance, I'm going to try and paint it. If not, well, then this is what it is. I think others have said, and they're correct, paint looks nice, but it doesn't make it run any better. But I'd sure like it to look a little better. So another good power washing, and some brake clean, and a few other things to get some oil and grease off of it, and I might try to give it a quick spritz and see what I can do. Yes, I'll cover this kind of thing over. I'd take it off, but I'm afraid these would each break. But I'll tape that, and I might even tape over the John Deere. These are vinyl, but I might even tape over these. I can't really. Of course, you can find vinyl lettering, but this nice white with black on it, I haven't been able to find that anywhere. Otherwise, making good progress. It's actually, once the lines are back on, I mean, it'll be totally usable. The only thing that's going to be left undone on this machine, from a planning standpoint, is there is a quill seal in here that is leaking, and I am not really keen on pulling the track and pulling this off and getting in there to get that quill seal. So unless it causes me trouble with steering, I'm going to leave it alone. So that's where we're at. Tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow, off to the hydraulic shop. Quick status update. I got my front hoses back on. You can see I've loomed these now. I'm going to do that on the other side. These I had the looms put on when I got them made up, and then I bought some extra loom. And I haven't been filming a lot. We're racing the rain here. As you can see, I loomed these up, and you know, they don't rub on a lot of things, but they do touch, and they do touch here, and I'm always worried about down there. So they're loomed. So everything's gonna be loomed that could be rubbing here. I don't want to ever have to deal with this in the field. So 4 lines, I'm going to put these on. I'm going to see if I can get this piston back where it belongs. I'll try and film when I do that part. For now, I'm just going to run some lines and connect them. Okay, the lines are on. I have these set up so that when I put the cylinder back in, they lay in when it goes out, so I can put the pin back in. So for all practical purposes, I'm ready to do that. You can see I loomed everything. This, as I mentioned before, yes, you could make the argument that, you know, the hoses I took out were as old as they were and they didn't have a problem. But why not spend a few extra dollars and spend a little bit of time and get these things extra protected where they might abrade, especially down there. So they're all loomed. I was all ready to go and put this in. However, I noticed something that I didn't see when this piston was actually in. And you can see my mount for my boom when I'm, you know, my transport mount has been cracked for a very, very long time, and given how big this is and how long it is, with the weld that's on it, it probably wouldn't have ever let go. But since I have the cylinder up, I've got this that needs to be addressed, and I'm going to call my weld. I'm not going to weld that myself. I'll probably V it out, and I'll have, I've talked to my welder guy before. He usually has me clean things really good and V it out, and he comes over and welds for me. Saves him time and effort. That needs to be addressed. I don't know if you're going to see this on the bucket or not. I think it's this side. This side. You can kind of see it up in there with this bucket up, that this is bent right here. I did that with a tree. But I'll have him heat that, straighten it out, and we'll weld it along the bottom and probably try and brace it a little bit and see if we can't get that sorted out. Other than that, that's kind of it for welding that I know of. And my next little project here before it gets dark is I'm going to put loom on those two, and then everything, all the hydraulics will have loom on them. You can see that, I don't know if you can see here, this did get abraded just a little bit on something down here, so I'm going to get that looming on there and get that a little bit extra protected, and then I'm not so worried about it. The rest of this I don't think touches anything. This doesn't move. This here doesn't really touch anything. The concerns weren't till out here, so that's all done. So yeah, progress is being made. I've got about a month and a half before I really want to put this to hard use, so I'm trying to get all these odds and ends done. And then we'll see what we can go break. Okay, that's probably it for today.